Okay, my first graders, we're in our Go Math book today on page 99. It's a 9 and a 9. So if you're not on page 99, pause the video, find this page. Okay, let's take a look. Today we're dealing with bar models again. Okay, remember we looked at this before? So when we see the two boxes together, that means that's a part of each of the number. And when we see the large box, and before this box was at the bottom, that's the whole, okay? So let's think about it like this. Here's a whole, okay? Here is 4, right? 4 is the whole number. I could break it into parts like this, right? 1 and 3. And together, that would make the whole, which is 4. So it's showing parts, and I can show that with a different one here. See, here is 3 and 1 more, right? And it's the same as 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 and 1 is the same as 4. So a bar model is showing two parts that together make a whole. So today we're going to be filling them in ourselves. We have to fill in all the blanks. So just as a reminder, the whole is always the biggest number. It was just like when we had the 4, and that was the biggest, right? We could break it into parts, but they're always going to be smaller than the whole number. So let's take a look at what we have. Mindy has 8 puzzle pieces. David has 5 puzzle pieces. How many more puzzle pieces does Mindy have than David? Okay. So remember when they're asking how many more, how many less, how many fewer, that always means it's a subtraction problem. So one of the easiest ways to fill this in is by making our number model first, okay, our number sentence. So let's listen to that again. Mindy has 8 puzzle pieces. David has 5 puzzle pieces. How many more pieces does Mindy have than David? So we know that's a minus problem. It's comparing. So our first number is 8, right? That was the big number. Minus 5 is our other number. Okay, now that we wrote the minus problem, we can use these numbers to fill in our bar model. Okay, so for subtraction, we always start with the biggest number. So let's look at our bar model. Where would the biggest number go? Well, the biggest number is going to go in this biggest square. So I'm going to put the 8 up here because that is my big number. Then I have this part, which is the pieces. So my other number is 5. So 5 is going to go here. That's one of my small numbers. Now, do you remember what we talked about before with the bar model? When we go diagonal, it's always a minus. So 8 minus 5 equals. So we can draw our picture to solve. We draw 8 circles. Okay, minus 5, so we're taking 5 away. How many do we have left? 3. So 8 minus 5 equals 3. So now we're going to take our 3, which is our other small number, and we're going to put it right here. Because 8 minus 5 equals 3. So before we turn our page, I just want us to look at this one more time. Remember, bar models. This is for the two small numbers. This is for the big number. See, notice it's a piece and another piece and the whole. See how that's the biggest one, right? Whenever we go diagonal, it's a minus problem because we know the biggest number. Okay, if we had these two numbers, we could add them together to get our big number. Diagonal means minus. When we look across, it's plus. All right, let's turn our page. Okay, we're going to look at this side first. Let me see if I can scoot that over a little bit. Okay, James has 4 stones. I'm circling 4. Heather has 7 stones. How many fewer stones does James have than Heather? Okay, so remember, they're asking how many fewer stones. Remember, how many more, how many less, how many fewer? That is a minus problem. So let's fill in what we have. Now, look at these two numbers. We have a 7 and a 4. What do we have to start with for a minus problem? Can we start with the small number, or does it need to be the big number? Has to be the big number. Minus problems, you always have to start with the big number. And I'm going to show you why in just a second. So we have 7, take away, what's our other number? 4, and then our equal sign. Okay, 7 minus 4. And I'm going to show you why we have to start with the biggest number. Okay, I want you to hold up 4 fingers. Okay, here's my 4 fingers. You've got your 4 fingers up. Can you take 7 away from 4? Try it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, you ran out of fingers. You have to start with the biggest number so that you have enough to take away. If you start with a small number, you're not going to have enough to take away. Okay? Just like we did with our fingers. If we started with 4, we can't take 7 away. We don't have 7 fingers up. We only have 4. We've got to start with the bigger number and then take away the smaller number to see what's left. All right, now we have our problem. Back to what we were doing. 7 minus 4. We need to fill in our bar model. Okay, so we said 7 is our biggest number. Remember, minus problem always starts with the biggest number. Where does the biggest number go? Good, right here at the top. See how that's the biggest part? Okay, wherever the biggest part is for the biggest number. Now we need our small number. Where's the small number going to go? Right here. Okay, that's a piece, right? This is for the biggest number. Here's one of the small numbers, right? One of the small parts. Now we have to solve this to figure out what our other number is. So let's do 7 minus 4. Draw your 7 circles. Take away, right? Take away 4. How many are left? 3. So 7 minus 4 equals 3. But we're not done yet. We need to fill it in our bar model. So we had 7, 4, and this is 3. Blank, fewer stones. Well, how many fewer stones did he have? 3. Okay, very good. So remember, bar models, if we know the biggest number, right? Biggest number always goes there at the top. Small number and small number. All right, let's try the next one. Abby has 8 stamps. Ben has 6 stamps. How many more stamps does Abby have than Ben? All right, when they say how many more, right? That means it's a what kind of problem? Minus. How many more? How many less? Minus. Okay, look at this. What's our biggest number? 8 minus, what's our other number? 6 equals. Okay, now we have our problem. Let's fill in our bar model. What's our biggest number? 8. Okay, what's our part? 6. You remember diagonals minus. 8 minus 6 equals blank. Okay, let's draw our picture to solve. Make your 8 circles. Cross 6 off. Okay, we're going to take 6 away. How many are left? 2. So 8 minus 6 equals 2. All right, but we're not finished yet. Now we have to put it in. So 8 minus 6 equals 2. What's our other small number? It says blank more stamps. So how many more stamps did he have? 2. All right, let's try this bottom. Daniel has 3 books. Vicky has 6 books. How many fewer books does Daniel have than Vicky? So remember, when we're doing a how many more, how many fewer, it's a minus problem. So let's set this up. What number are we going to start with? Hopefully you said 6. 6 is the bigger number. Has to be biggest number for subtraction. Minus, right? It's comparing how many fewer, how many more. What's our other number? 3 equals, okay, 6 minus 3 equals. Okay, so now we need to put it in here. Our biggest number, where does that go? Here at the top, there's our first 6. Biggest number. 6 minus 3 equals blank. So now we need to solve. Draw your picture. Start with 6. How many are we taking away? 3. How many are left? 3. So 6 minus 3 equals 3. 6 minus 3 equals 3. And we need to fill it in one more place. Blank fewer books. How many fewer books was it? 3. Okay, if you need to pause to catch up, go ahead. If not, we're going to look across the page. Okay, take a look at our problems. Okay, here's a math on the spot. Remember, math on the spot, you can watch the video for our math materials. There's a math on the spot link in there. Let's take a look. Pam has 4 marbles. Rick has 10 marbles. How many fewer marbles does Pam have than Rick? All right, boys and girls, I would like you to try this. Okay, think. Remember, what number do you start with? It's asking how many fewer, so we know that's a minus problem. Go ahead and pause. Work on filling this in. Problem first, bar model. If you're hitting play, that's because you have filled this in and you have your answer, right? You're ready to check your answer. If you haven't filled this in yet, then you need to pause and do that first. All right. Well, we had to fill in our minus problem, right? We had to start with what number? 10, because 10 is our biggest number. Remember, subtraction, always start with the biggest number. Minus 4 was our other number, and equal. So you should have drawn your picture, crossed off 4, and so what were you left with? Well, you were left with 6. Okay, does your model match my model? Okay, you also had to fill in your bar model. So we had our biggest number, which is 10, that goes at the top, minus our small number, right? 10 minus 4 equals 6. Okay, then you also had this spot to fill in. How many fewer marbles? Well, 6 fewer marbles. Okay, if you need to fix something, you can pause and do that now. Okay, if not, we're going to keep on going. All right. Sally has 5 feathers. James has 2 feathers. How many more feathers does Sally have than James? Oh, they're asking us how many more. So remember, how many more, how many less? What kind of problem is that? Subtraction. Boys and girls, you're going to fill this in. Pause. Okay, do that. Finish that problem. When you're finished, hit play. All right, if you're hitting play, that means you solved this. You've got an answer for this. If you don't, pause it and finish your work. All right, Sally has 5 feathers, so 5 was our biggest number. Minus, because we were comparing, right? How many more, right, is a minus problem. How many more, how many less, how many fewer? Minus. 2 is the small number, and our equal sign. We can fill in our bar model. 5 was our biggest number. 2 is our small number. And then we solve. 5 minus 2 equals 3. So then we finish our bar model. 5 minus 2 equals 3. So how many more feathers does Sally have than James? She has 3 more feathers. So I write that in here. Okay, so boys and girls, just a reminder, right? When we are doing a minus problem, we always start with the bigger number, okay? Minus problem, that means you have the biggest number. That means the biggest number always goes here, right? And this is for our smaller numbers. Take a look at Go Deeper. Kyle has 6 keys. Kyle has 4 more keys than Lee. How many keys does Lee have? All right, so remember, they're talking about how many more and how many less. So if Kyle has 6 keys and Kyle has 4 more keys than Lee does, how many keys does Lee have? Right, we're comparing keys. So when we compare, we're doing a what kind of problem? A subtraction problem, a minus problem. So let's look. What do we start with? 6, because it's the bigger number. We said how many more, how many less. When we compare, it's a minus. Okay, what's our other number? 4 equals, all right, we can fill this in, can't we? What's our biggest number? 6. What's the small part? 4, right? 6 minus 4 equals blank. All right, so let's check that out. Our 6 minus 4, so cross off 4. How many are left? 2. All right, so we need to take a look though. I need to put this 2 where? Right here, don't I? But let me look at this. If I put 2 in there, this is a pretty big blank, isn't it? Look at this space. What one do you think should be in the smaller box? Do you think 2 should be in the smaller box or 4? 2, right? 2 is less, it's smaller. So what they wanted us to see in this box is that the smaller number should really go in here, because this is the very, very smallest box. So it's for the very smallest number. So what they want us to do is, instead of putting 4 here, they want us to put the 2 here because that's the very smallest number. And instead of that there, so we have our 6 is our biggest number, 2 is our part. What was the other part that we had? What was our other small number? 4. They want us to put the 4 there. And boys and girls, I know that's just a little thing, but they want us to see that that these are parts, right? This is a really small part. This is a small part, but it's not as small as this one. So that's what they wanted us to see for this, okay? However, what is our answer? Look at our problem. 6 minus 4 equals 2. So how many keys does Lee have? Well, Lee has 2. Okay, and one more thing to point out to this. Remember our turnaround facts where we had the different color cubes, right? And we said it doesn't really matter. So here's my 4. And Bell's grabbing the other pieces. Here's my 2. So it's like saying, here's our parts. Here's 2 and 4, 2 and 4. So it could go like this, couldn't it? 2 plus 4 equals 6. If I turned it around this way, 4 plus 2, does that equal 6? It does. And here's 6, right? I can do 6 minus 2. Okay, 6 minus 2 equals 4. Or could I do 6 minus 4 equals 2? I can. They want us to see that these numbers are all are related. They all go together. All right, boys and girls, that is it for today. Tomorrow, we will be finishing our lesson 6. We'll be finishing our lesson 2.6. Today, you're going to go on and work on your personal math trainer.